So ES node structure for material head. So similar to this, for all the domains, standard domains, we have the structures for the connectors. So in order to to make sure that the enterprise structure or the search application using the enterprise search application contains the updated fields or the G fields along with the standard fields, then we need to look into this structure. It should get updated. So the outcome of whatever mapping we do either through the cockpit or using the modular should get reflected in this structure. So so basically, these are the fundamental steps. In short, we can say, after you are done with the data modeling enhancement, SMT enhancement, the data model is specific structure generation, then we get into the modular using the EHS cockpit, and then we create our own Z template for the connector. And in order to create our own connector, we use a template connector. And the way to create a template connector is, first you need to define a software component, and then you need to include the necessary hierarchical software structure where the material template connector is already part. So all this is done through EHS underscore modular, and from within the modular we can then do the mapping of the response fields and request fields. After, if this assignment is done correctly, then we activate. Activation basically means we save the changes, and then after this, after the connector, the Z connector gets built in the system, we then perform the indexing, because this is not the HANA connector, or this is not the HANA database supported structure. So we can schedule the indexing for tracks, and after the indexing is done, the connector becomes active. So from within the cockpit we can see the status of the connector as active, and this active connector will then be tested. As I said, we then need to go into the corresponding structure to see whether the fields are included, and also using the transaction EHS test search, we can then verify the outcome of the connector. So this is how this enhancement is to be done. So the different use cases essentially will follow the same steps. Sometimes the attribute fields, they are already part of the template connector structure, so the mapping of the result, the mapping of the response fields may not be required. But if we include Z attributes or Z entity type, then in that case we may need to go into the modular and do the mapping, and after the steps in the modeling, we then have to come back to the cockpit in order to perform the corresponding we need to schedule the indexing, and we need to make sure that the status of our connector is active. So guys, this is what we have in the discussion for the configuration for connectors. Thank you so much.